Now, podcasting around the world. It's the Marquee DJ and Photo Booth Conference Podcast. The podcast featuring all things DJ and photo booth for the industry professional trying to improve and grow their business. Known to his mother and father as Keith Christopher Kokoris and known to the industry as KC, here is the Marquee Show producer himself, your host, KC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marquee Show Podcast. I am your host, KC, and I am extremely excited to have my very good friend and the industry teddy bear, the one and only Sean, Big Daddy McKee. Welcome to the show, buddy. Thanks for being here.
KC, it's an absolute honor and pleasure to be here. Listen, for those of you that are out there listening, watching, whatever the case may be, this is going to be an amazing show. The lineup is absolute. I am honored to be in. I'm one of the co-hosts with Jordan Marshall. I get to introduce all these people. Who's luckier than me? You know, you got Mike Walter, Joe Bunn, Digital Dave, Nick Spinelli, just
Brian
111.
CC, Tyler Ross, Harry Legg. I mean, it goes on, and there's still more people being added to the docket as it is. But I'll tell you, because of, the negative COVID, we all know what it is. The positive has been because there haven't been shows. People haven't been tied down to different, I don't want to say alliances because that's not it. But obviously, when you speak for one conference, you can't have the same person speaking at every show because it waters it down. But just the stars have aligned, and I think that I really have a dream team of presenters. We've got Jordan Marshall carrying you, through the MC part, right?
Of course,
so
I have such a hard time on the microphone and communicating with people, as we all know.
So
the room will be full of love,
Yeah.
But guys, here's the deal. This is going to be an amazing lineup, and it's going to be one of the first ones. And the show floor, and also education is key, no matter how you get it. And there's also a virtual, if the borders aren't open, whatever, and you want to be a part of this, you can be.
Right.
$100, and you get to see everything.
So we'll give them the little sales pitch at the end, but let's go back to talking about you, one of our co-hosts. So I met you in the 90s, I believe.
99.
Was that when it was? Yeah. So why don't you
98.
Okay, so let's get some background on Big Daddy and your career, what you love about DJing, and doing special events and such, and let's go from there.
Casey and I met in Atlantic City. I happened to be my brother Adam White's introduced us, and it became an instant friendship and verbally assaulting each other, which is what we do. That's what brothers do with each other.
Right.
But back then, that was 1997 was my very, very first one. I started doing DJing this way, mobile DJing, in 1993.
Okay.
And I was one of those guys. I've been in the entertainment business for a very long time. I club DJ'd. I did everything else.
Someone told me that you actually did Jesus's first wedding. He officiated.
And I did the Last Supper. Thank you.
The Cana. Oh, really?
I did the Last Supper. Oh, we had a ball.
Okay.
Oh, it was awesome.
Not so much for Jesus. A couple of days later, not so much.
Not so much, but everybody else had a great time.
Right.
But, the thing is, 1993 got into this. I moved back up here, got divorced, everything else. Long story short, I fell in love with doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But I was one of those guys that, what do I need to learn? I do weddings every weekend, during the week, book work, whatever. 1997, I took my first trip down to Atlantic City.
Okay, pause for a minute. So what was the tipping point? You've been doing it successfully for 4 years. I know that you were in bands before that. If you want to see some awesome pictures, go through Big Daddy's Facebook page because he taught the Sweat Hogs how to grow an afro. I mean, it was he definitely had some big old hair going on. So
And
you'd been in bands, you knew the shtick, you knew what was going on. You'd been DJing for 4 years. Everybody loved Big Daddy. So why the need for even what do you call it? Why the need for the education even?
well, I hadn't become Big Daddy yet. I was the big guy back then in '97. I didn't become
gotcha.
Big Daddy till 1998. The
So then
biggest thing
what convinced Sean McKee to go, okay, I will take a trip?
I had a couple of older friends of mine. They had come in. They wanted to start their own company. They were part of another company in New York.
Right.
One of the guys came, very different, came in and asked, what it would be like to do your own. And I sat with an old friend also who ended up being the musical director at Studio 54, Joey D.
Okay.
And he goes, we're all going to Atlantic City. Why don't you come down? I said, what am I going to? He goes, just come down. We'll have some fun. I said, all right. My eyes, I went in there with the blinders on. And what am I going to learn from this? The first panel I think I saw was you, George Whitehouse, Brian Doyle, if I'm not mistaken, and a few other things. But the thing that hit me the most was in the DJ of the Year contest way back when what the heck was his name? The guy from Seattle was running it.
Kevin Howard.
Kevin Howard.
Right.
I saw Adam White's perform.
Sure.
I said, I want to be like that. How can I be like that? And how can I learn? So
you
lot
converted
of times
to Judaism.
I'm a Jew. I've been Jewish for
Right.
a long time now. The fat Irish kid doing bar mitzvahs was kind of like a hit up here.
But do you have the beautiful wife like Adam does?
No. Oh, heaven forbid. He married way up, Keith.
Oh,
He
yeah.
married.
I agree. I was at the wedding. I know.
January 31st. The thing is, and I'm walking around and I'm getting to meet, like I got to meet you. I got to meet a bunch of other people. And I'm going, so this is a little bit different than what I thought I had signed up for 4 years ago.
Right.
And I soaked it up like a sponge.
Sure.
And I'm going, I got to learn more about this. So I went back the next year and I met Mike Walter. Then I met you again and got to learning. And 99 was the year that I first went in on a Monday night. I had heard about the DJ of the Year contest and Mike was one. I think it was his first year of running it, maybe his second.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So in 1997,
Adam won.
And who took second place?
You.
That's right. In 1998, who won?
You.
No. Jerry Siracusa.
Jerry Siracusa.
And who took second?
You.
Right. 1999, who won?
You.
Nope. Bobby Morgenstein.
No way. Oh, yeah. He won with the toilet paper thing.
He won with the shoe game. And who took second place?
You again.
Right. So then there was like a 2-year hiatus and where it just didn't happen for some reason. And then Mike Walter stepped up and made it happen. And I think I was a judge for 2 years.
Yep.
I came back into competing in 2003 and apparently there was nobody good left to compete against because I actually won.
The one you won, you had, I'll tell you what, that was quite the show you put on with the percussionists and everything else. It was great. It was outstanding.
Actually, I take it back. You know what? Because I think Marcello had won. I think 2000 there was no competition. 2001 and 2002, I think Marcello won.
Yeah, didn't Marcello win in 2004 and 2005 and 2006?
I don't remember. I remember. I remember. After that, it got blurry.
Yeah, I won in 2007.
Right.
It was between you and I who were the Susan Lucci of the DJ of the Year competition was.
And who hoisted you up on their shoulders and still has rotator cuff surgery coming?
You and Jerry and Mars.
And Mars, yeah.
I think, listen, I never was in it to win. I was in it just because that's who I was and had fun. But the one thing that winning that, my son, Casey and my son, that was the thing. The year before, everybody said, oh, it's going to be Big Daddy's Year, Big Daddy's Year. But again, I brought more people with me, and he pulls me off the stage at the end of my 2006. He goes, what are you thinking? I said, what's the matter? He goes, you're the reason you're the reason that they're watching, not the other people.
Right.
The my son, both of my boys, I get teary-eyed every time talking about them, but that was a lesson for me. Winning, and then after that, closing the show every Monday night was outstanding. But I got to meet more people. Then I started doing the mock mitzvahs with Bobby and everything else.
I do have to say, and listen, I know there's a lot of criticism about the DJ of the year, and it's not a real competition. And listen, whether it is or it isn't, doesn't matter. I will say this, and I think you'll agree. Being on stage, putting it out there for your peers, and being approachable so that when somebody does compliment you and says, you did a great job, it opens up a very easy, natural dialogue between yourself and other attendees that you can either give back to and share, or you can learn from. And so it's been, for me, it's been a blessing that way. I guess technically I was a DJ of the year winner. To me, it just, listen, I've got the trophy or the plaque up on the wall still, but it's really just about being part of the community. So,
right.
And listen, this is only one small part of going to a DJ show, and the Marquee Show will not have any competitions. It's not scheduled for it, but this is just one example at DJ shows in general. Mm-hmm. And what I think we've gotten from this so far is amazing as the seminars are and some of the presenters are, it's also the friendships like you and I have bonded. And it's different than doing it on Facebook. Like, listen,
it is.
I've got 4,300 friends on Facebook, but I talk to you 4 days a week, and if you don't think that the travel is worth it, you're 100% wrong.
Correct. The thing is, that's the one thing that, whether it was Think Tank or whatever that we were together on, there was always, the big thing for me has always been the family that we have been. Right. And the family just keeps getting bigger. And listen, as you said, the seminars, everything else is wonderful. But the one-on-one, the two-on-one, whatever it is, at dinner, at lunch, out in the hallways, is probably even better because you're not sitting there just, okay. You get the personal one-on-one.
Right. And so for those of you that are listening to this or watching this, and you're in your 20s or your 30s and you're going, I don't need to go to these shows because I can watch it on YouTube. I can listen to the podcast like this one. Listen, you can't meet. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm a great DJ or Sean. You have a community of people that want to help others get better. When I was coming up, Andy Ebon, Jeff Green,
Johnny Roz,
Gary Kasser, all of these guys where you guys are out that don't know them are going, who? The bottom line is they were the ones that paved the way for me, which have paved the way for the new breed of Nick Spinelli, Jordan Marshall, so many others. And listen, the great part about this is the people that are there, they want to help you. Okay.
Right.
And so, yes, as a business owner, I want you to come to the Marquee Show because I have a vested financial interest in it. However, if your schedule lines up, if Midwest DJs Live is better for you, if the Photo Booth Expo next year is better for you, if DJ Times is better for you, if ARM DJs is better for you, or even if it's just you going to a local Chamber of Commerce meeting, a Toastmasters, get off of your butt, I hate to say this, but hang up put it down the laptop, pause this podcast or listen to it on your way to an event where you can learn more. Okay.
That's the whole thing. And there's people in my state right here that are the iron keyboard folks. Oh, I'm such great friends with Jason Jenna. Have you met him in person yet? Right. Have you met a Nick Spinelli? Well, no, no. You
Yeah,
don't
we know that you
what
haven't
you're
talked to
missing.
Jason Jani because you can't get him on the phone to save your life.
Oh, heaven forbid. But
So,
every now and again, I
yes,
get
Jason,
a
if
text.
you are listening, that is a direct
We love you.
dig. That is a
Jason, we
direct
love you
dig.
anyway.
Pick up your goddamn
I do.
phone. Okay?
But-
You're not dope enough not to pick it up. All right?
You're not, we're not, you can't learn. You can learn. You can learn by doing this, the iron keyboard people. But what you're missing is this, the feeling of being a part of something amazing, sitting in a crowd of listening to Digital Dave Landers or Jordan, Nick Spinelli, everybody that's going to be Mike Walter. Oh
Right.
my God. If you haven't seen Mike Walter except online, you don't know what you're missing, my
And here's the
friends.
thing. It's like watching it's like watching a concert. It's like watching a sports game. You go to it, it's a different vibe, and you
Right.
are immersed in it. You're not having your phone go off. It's just very, very different. So
Big time. Big time.
And again, I'm not listen, obviously it's the Marquee Show podcast and you're tuning in for this reason, but there's that. So my recommendation is you bring a notebook to any of these shows. You bring your iPhone and you open up your notepad and you just start typing away and you start snapping pictures like crazy, of slides that really make the most amount of sense to you. I personally was really touched. Mark Berneisen, who's a DJ out of upstate New York, did a best of DJ Expo seminars from years and years gone by. And I was blown away. He had 3 different photographs of quotes or slides that I had presented in various seminars over the years that had stuck out and resonated with him. And I was extremely blown away and touched by the fact that I, as a presenter, connected with someone. And so I, as a producer now, am trying to create an atmosphere where everybody is immersed in that same feeling that I got throughout. And I've been going to shows since 92.
That's Jason Jani, by the way. That's Jason Jani, by the way, on your phone.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, exactly. He heard and he was like, and we're pre-recording this, which is even weirder. He just had a sixth sense.
It ain't me.
Yeah. So, but the point is that listen, there's no one knows it all.
Nope.
Michael Jordan had a coach, okay, and a trainer all the way through his time. Tom Brady, they just talked about it after the Super Bowl. He's got a whole slew of trainers that keep him conditioned. He's 43 years old, and he turned around and said that he's ready to go again next year. I mean, he might win his 8th. I mean, so God bless. You've got tons and tons of people that the most successful people in traditionally are the ones that read the most, attend conferences, and consistently are open-minded to growing and learning. And that's really what it's all about.
That's the one thing you got to remember. You got to, as Mars said a long time ago, free your mind and your butt will follow. I don't want to. It's the truth. Right. You can't go in with blinders.
Nobody listening to this has heard profanity before. I understand.
Screw that. Who cares? No, free your mind and your ass will follow. You can't go into these things, whether it be the virtual, whatever conference you decide to go to. If you come to them all, great. But remember, you gotta open your mind. Right. You gotta take off the blinders and open your heart, because it's amazing the people that you're going to meet. I have met some of the most amazing people that are a very big part of my life and my family's life now because of these conventions.
Right.
And the education is key, but also the relationships you can make outside. As Casey said, take pictures of the things that you think are going to stick out in your mind, like Mark Berneisen did. And there's just so many other things that you can do, and the things that you think are going to stick out in your mind, like Mark Berneisen did. And there's just so many other things that you can do and get from these things. And then you're going to meet some amazing, amazing people.
If you don't know it, Sean likes the word amazing.
Amazing is I even
wonderful.
know how to spell it.
It's wonderful. Even.
It's amazing. It's awesomer.
Awesomer. That one you can drop. Okay. I don't mean to be the grammar police, but we can drop awesomer.
All right, no problem. But, look at the lineup when Casey puts the whole thing together. And there's still some
Right.
more people going to be on it. And then it's not just DJ stuff. It's, if I'm not mistaken, you're doing the voiceover gentleman?
We've got so there's the business side where we've got
Right.
great people talking about sales, marketing. We've got programming being discussed. We have all kinds of stuff being discussed, but we're talking about setting up a YouTube channel. We're also talking about things that haven't been discussed at a DJ show before. Voiceover. Everybody thinks they've got a voice for DJ. I could be a voiceover guy. Yeah. And if you believe it, that's great. Harry Legg, who is the voice of NBC Sports, who's going to be on one of our upcoming podcasts as well, he's going to be showing you how to do it. I worked with him at Kiss FM. He's an unbelievably great guy. We have Alex Napa coming on from, he's the former DJ director for Carnival Cruise Lines, and hopefully will be again by the time the show starts, depending on when
Amen.
Carnival ramps up. We have a panel of people that are going to be talking about how to be a professional sports team or college teams in arena, in stadium DJ, of which Digital Dave Landers is one of them. We have confirmed Willie Casper Perry, the writer, author of the Cha-Cha Slide, who's with the WNBA Chicago Skies team. And then a couple more that are not officially signed, but are looking likely to be happening. But I don't want to promise something I can't deliver. And then again, now let's just say, for the sake of argument, no matter how badly you want to come here, you just can't. Okay. And I get it. And I've been there where I've had to skip years and money's tight or whatever. The virtual pass is going to be $99. Okay. Now we're not recording the show for playback, and there's a reason for that. And this is it. If you can't make the travel, if you can't, spend it on that, you can carve out the time. You have 4 months or 5 months to figure it out. You can carve out the time to get the time off of work, use your personal time, get a babysitter or get the kids off to camp or whatever. You need to invest in yourself. So if you can't make it, you have to have a plan B financially. For $99, you'll be able to get all the educational content. But I know that if I put it on a DVD, you're never going to look at it. You know
Nope.
why? Sean, how many books and DVDs do you have that you've bought?
Sir, in Los Angeles County.
Oh, God. 15, 20?
Yeah. Okay.
And I've got Randy Bartlett's whole, video,
Right.
video, whatever they are. The only reason I watch them is, and then I take them out and use them as Frisbees, but,
I use them as coasters. So.
But you got to have it in front of you.
No, if you make the commitment to yourself and your career, even if you can't be here in person, you will get more out of it. So that's why we are not. You have to 22nd, 23rd, 24th of June. You have to get the virtual pass. You need to plant your butt in front of your TV if you've got it set up that way as a smart TV, or your laptop or your iPad or what have you. But invest in yourself, make the time, do what you got to do so that you can help grow your business, especially coming out of this terrible time that we're in this country. So that's that.
That's it. And make, you just, if you're going to do things, you got to look forward. You can't look back. What's happened. And listen, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this all together.
Right.
And if you don't look forward and put your finger on the pulse of this with either online or in Chicago itself, you're crazy.
Right.
Well, again, not just the Marquee. As Keith said, every other thing, be interactive.
Right.
Because if your area has 3 or 4 different DJs, what's going to set you apart from that DJ company? Are you going to have something completely different that they can't have because they didn't take the time that you did to learn more?
Right. And even if it happens where others find out about it on the internet or whatever, you still will be first in market to do it. You'll be the first one that hears the latest information about Facebook algorithms. You're the first one that may have seen a dance or a game or some programming thoughts or seen some new gear that'll be at our show or a booth or whatever it might be. If you're first in gear, again, everybody's chasing you. And that's the way that you got to look at it. You're in front of the line.
That's right. You want to be in front of that line because, guys, not to be rude, we all have the same equipment too. We can get this equipment at any time we want.
Right.
What sets you apart? And right now, more than ever, we have to, as entertainers and salespeople, everything else, we got to hit home. And home is the heart. And yes, customer service now more than ever had better be on the top of your list. If you don't have good customer service, get to Marquee.
Right.
There's going to be amazing people that are going to teach you that.
Yeah. No, we're gonna. It's a well-rounded buffet of education, and not all of it might be for you, and that's okay. But there's more than enough there for you to get your money's worth. Invest in yourself, carve out the time, and we hope that you'll join
Absolutely.
us, I should say.
Absolutely.
So again, I know we talked about Marquee a lot, and I don't want people listening to this podcast going, "Oh, great, I just got a 20-minute sales pitch." It's not about Marquee; it's about education.
Education is key.
The most successful people in this world that are the ones that are constantly growing and learning and are open-minded to change. So,
and one more thing to go back to what you were talking about. If there is a seminar that you may not be into and whatever, walk around outside because there's going to be other people that are feeling the same way you are. Get to know those people because they may have a nugget that you can get
right
from their area, whatever the case may be. I don't want to hear, well, this would never work in my area, in my market. You don't know unless you try.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just be open-minded. And like I said, think of it like a buffet. Take what you like, leave what's not there. And I'm confident that we'll have more than enough to fill your belly educationally. So
absolutely honored to be there. Can't wait.
Well, we're excited to have you, I mean, with you being our fourth choice and all, we were glad to that you were.
I made it that I made it that high up the list. I'm impressed.
Well,
I thought it was like, you're just trying to make me feel good on a Monday. I know.
I hear you. So that's it. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Once again, make sure you go to MarqueeShow.com for all things Marquee. Also, our Facebook group page always has all kinds of fun, stimulating, and ridiculous things to talk about on our Facebook group page. So
one last thing. How many days till Marquee? From when our show is on?
We're pre-recording the show, so we don't know. But if you tune in every day to the Marquee community page, you'll get a reminder, even though Nick Hahn hates it with a passion.
It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter what Nick Hahn thinks. We love Nick Hahn, and it's and who's Nick Hahn is one of the greatest. So it's probably by the time you see this, it'll be 4 days before we see Nick Hahn. But my friends, heed this man's words. He's a brother, a friend, and this is going to be something either online or in person you do not want to miss.
Right. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Marquee Show Podcast. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Join the Marquee Show community group on Facebook to continue the discussion of today's show. And of course, make sure you visit www.marqueeshow.com for information about this year's conference and all things Marquee.